This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Alright.
Hello, and who podcasts The Watchmen? Who watches The Watchmen? We watch The Watchmen and podcast about it. Hello, hi, I'm Kevin Smith. No. Hi, my name is Bill, and joining me, as always, straight from Ohio.
Bill 1. Tyler.
What is up?
Not much, man.
We got a new Watchmen episode. Did you see? We actually have like some competition now. I guess HBO's putting out an official Watchmen podcast.
Yeah, I downloaded the first episode.
Yeah, so did I. I didn't listen to it yet, but I don't know if they're going to do it every 3 episodes because this one covers episode 1, 2, and 3, and then I guess they said the second one's going to drop after episode 6.
Yeah, so not sure.
Yeah.
But I'm going to check it out. But yeah. This episode, I like the title. It made me laugh.
I know. Especially at the end of the episode. Yeah, when you figure. Yeah, yes, because season 1, episode 3, she was killed by space junk.
Yeah, and it can be taken as different means. But I'm thinking space junk is Dr. Manhattan.
I was going to say it didn't say anything about blue, Tyler. Come on.
But he is in space.
That's true.
But, okay, so I like this episode a lot because. 1, it gave us background information.
Yes.
About just the world.
Mm-hmm.
2, it gave us background information about with Senator Keene Jr. About the DOPA, is what they called it, act that allowed police to start wearing masks and how they want to push it through nationwide and how other cities are going to do it as well. Mm-hmm. So that was just enough to kind of give us an idea of why Tulsa, why they're doing this, what's up with the masks. And also because we meet Laurie Blake.
Yes.
And, of course, this is the Laurie that's father was the comedian who was with Dr. Manhattan, who's with Night Owl, but he's barely mentioned. Like, he's kind of off-referenced in her little story joke that I really don't quite get. Like, her little joke that she's telling Dr. Manhattan throughout the whole episode, like, I don't quite get it.
Well, remember when the senator too came to see her, and she had the owl in the cage, and he said when he wanted her to go down to Oklahoma, he said, remember, the president can pardon anyone. He says anyone. He's like, he can even get your owl out of that cage, which I'm assuming Dan's in prison.
Oh, could be. That's a good. I missed that dialogue.
Yes.
Because we get. So it's interesting because. She hates vigilantes. She's like the anti-vigilante task force. And considering that she didn't like being the Silk Spectre too, but she did it. She was a member of the Watchmen group, but here she is now. We get a really great scene at the beginning of her taking down a vigilante. He busts in to stop a bank robbery to find out that it's all a plant. And they take him down. I just felt that was interesting.
That was a Revenger?
Yeah. No, just Revenger.
Yes, in a black suit, because I even saw an article somewhere online that's like, this is what would happen to Batman in this world. I'm like, no, he wouldn't. His armor would be much better.
His armor would be better, but he'd also be smarter to, figure out that they're cops.
Mm-hmm. But I find it funny. Well, she's using the alias Laurie Blake, taking her father's last name. Probably because, she doesn't want people to immediately recognize her as Laurie Jupiter. But also, didn't she seem, in the movie and stuff and in the comic and stuff, she seemed more like her mother. Here, didn't she seem more like the comedian?
Yes. Yeah. It's like, it's been 30 years, since the events of the Watchmen event, book. So she's had time to, she knows the truth. that's part of it. Is she knows Adrian's what he did, and we have that little scene where the was not officer, but the guy agent who accompanies her. He's like, I have a PhD in history. He's like, I know who you were. She's like, yes, I knew Adrian Veidt. She's so.
And you had like a love affair with the most powerful being in existence.
So it's just very interesting that, Dr. Manhattan's on Mars, and we get a nice confession from her saying, it's funny people think you still care about us. But my favorite line is, so Laurie shows up. She's very intelligent, very intuitive, and she's talking to Sister Knight, and she says, looked in his closet, had a secret compartment. He's like, my dad had a secret compartment in his closet too.
Oh, I love that whole back and forth, because she's like, you knew what was in that secret compartment. She's like, either you guys were there's some kind of conspiracy. She's like, or you two were having an affair, which I don't think is possible because your husband is hot.
Yeah. She's like, because I've seen your husband and he's hot. So.
But yeah, I mean, and then the whole funeral thing with the bomber from the 7th Cavalry. Holy crap!
He shows up and he says, "Sinner's got to come with us. I have a bomb wired to my heart. If it stops, the bomb goes off." And Laurie just caps the dude in the head.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I didn't think he was serious."
Yeah, she said she said he was bluffing, but then Angela has to like kick him into Judd's grave and like throw his body and the coffin on top of him, which blows him up, blows his body up. Which again, then Laurie's like, "Oh, I can't exhume him now."
She's like, and it is interesting. Like there is a mystique and a mystery to why so quickly. Why this? Why are all the acts so quickly to bury him? And it was interesting that Laurie's like, "Yeah, I found tire marks." She's like, "For a wheelchair."
Mm-hmm.
I did like when she shows up and they're like, "I'm looking for a looking glass," and like he's in the pod, and she calls him Wade Tillman, Detective Wade Tillman. He's like, "You can take that mask off." It's just interesting because she hated her mom for making her be a superhero, and now it's like she hates anybody. And I mean, that's probably repercussions from what Veidt did. But I just find it interesting.
I just love her and Wade. She's just like, "Oh, is this your racist detective?"
He's like, "That's an oversimplification."
But what was I gonna say? But no, did you catch? Like I said, like Laurie was acting all like very much like the comedian, but then like at the end there when she's like wrapping up the joke for Dr. Manhattan. I forget what the joke is, but she said something like "bad joke," and it reminded me of Rorschach.
Exactly, Rowan snare drum.
Yes.
So it's like they're trying to be symmetrical in the writing, and it's just nice to have a character from the original story to just give more gravitas to this story to make it feel like it deserves to be called Watchmen. Because that's been part of my whole struggle is, okay, this is good, but does it deserve to be called Watchmen?
Yeah, I think that's why this is my favorite episode so far, because I think this is the one that felt most Watchmen so far.
Yeah, I mean, you have Laurie, you have her talking to Dr. Manhattan, we get the vigilante that they stop, and we also get references to the comedian, but we also get Adrian, we get Jeremy Irons actually calling himself Adrian Veidt.
Yep.
He's doing something that I quite couldn't figure out why he was phrasing his Mr. Oh, what's this? Why am I drawing a blank?
Yeah, his lackey. But I mean, I don't think he wanted to freeze him because he seemed pretty mad when he finds the guy frozen.
Right. I was trying to figure out what he was doing. And then he kills a buffalo and the game warden shoots at him.
Wait a minute. I'm looking at the summary here. The Lord meticulously plans and builds a makeshift environmental suit from a leathery substance that appears to be tanned human skin a glass jar, a suit of armor from the manor, a small oxygen bottle, and other found items. On a hilltop near an unidentified wooden mechanical structure, he dresses and seals it's Phillips, the Phillips clone in the suit, and later returns to find the clone frozen solid. After a frustrated tantrum, he comments on the need for a thicker skin and later hunts down a bison with a bow and arrow.
So, and some of the wording from the game warden.
Oh, yeah. He fails to bring the animal to the manor after a game warden on horseback fires a warning shot at the Lord's feet. He later receives a handwritten letter from the warden reminding him that the terms of his imprisonment prohibit escape attempts, yet thanking him for the tomatoes. The Lord dictates a type response to Crookshanks, acknowledging these terms, signing it as Adrian Veidt, and goes out that night to hunt again in his Ozymandias costume.
Right. So is he in some sort of specialized prison?
It seems like it. It's like, hey, you do whatever you want as long as you don't leave this piece of property.
Right. You know, and also because every episode we're seeing him getting his cake with the "he's a jolly good fellow."
Oh, yeah.
From Mr. Phillips. So very interesting of what could be going on with him and what's going on with that whole situation. Because it looked like the game warden was wearing a mask. And
maybe,
you know, it was weird. I only got to watch it once. I wanted to watch it twice.
Yeah, me too.
I only got to watch it once, and I'm intrigued.
Oh yeah,
because it feels like this is the storyline that doesn't connect. Because we also see that it looks like the pirate ship or the Black Freighter flag is the seal of the game warden.
Yeah.
You know, we saw a flag as he went to hunt.
Yes.
And then it was like a wax seal on the letter. And it's just, I don't know, it's weird. Like, because I feel like almost maybe there's something more to his story than we know. Mm-hmm. But we'll see.
You know who I think has a mysterious, the senator. You know what? I at first I thought maybe he might have been a new Night Owl, but I think maybe he's like a plant for like the 7th Cavalry, maybe.
That's kind of what I was wondering, because he was like, I'll go with him. I'll go. Just don't hurt these people. Like, he was quick to just...
So he can play the hero, kind of. And, like, even when the reporters asking him later about... Who were they asking him about? Was it the Germans or the Russians? About the Russians building an intrinsic field generator. And he was like, no. Right now, the war is here. It's the 7th Cavalry. And I think he even makes the comment, as long as they're around, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, he basically states that he represents the good people of Oklahoma.
So I'm just wondering if he's kind of in on it, creating this threat to a certain extent to keep his job, you know, at least to give him power.
There's something to him. I don't know. I don't fully trust him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, me neither.
So I haven't decided how I feel about him. And, I mean, so... We know that Laurie knows everybody's name.
Yes.
Because she knows that Angela Abar is Sister Knight. And, you know, she makes the comment, how do you tell a vigilante from a cop? Well, first of all, the cop vigilantes do act within the law. Mm-hmm. And they also have their badges displayed compared to just a regular, regular vigilante. But I do think it's interesting that the street cops wear masks. Yeah. Okay, they have the pull-up masks and then the hats. Mm-hmm. And I'm surprised they don't have on like glasses or something to cover their eyes. Mm-hmm. Like just always wearing their police glasses, which, okay, that makes sense. But then it's the detectives that take on these moniker characters, you know, Red Scare, Pirate Jane, Sister Knight, Looking Glass, you know. So it seems like it's the detectives that take on the. Not only are they wearing a mask, they're now like their own superhero type thing. Mm-hmm. You know, Sister Knight full on outfit and everything. So I thought that was interesting. You know, just to think about. Okay, it's one thing for the police to wear masks. It's another thing for the police to actually become these like superhero characters. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that scene when Laurie first shows up and she's talking to the cops. You know, they're arresting a suspect, and she's like, "Sir, are your civil rights being infringed upon? He's like, yes, these people grabbed me. She's like, I was kidding. Shut up. I don't care.
I don't care. I don't care. I just like when she's interrogating Looking Glass, and he's like very particular about the way he answers.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Sister Knight acquired the information from a second interrogation, which I was not there to witness the outcome of that said interrogation.
Yeah.
And she makes a point to almost shine doubt on him, like, you weren't there for the raid. He's like, no, ma'am, I wasn't.
Oh, but yeah, it seemed like we got a lot more this episode than the first two.
Yeah, like I said, this episode is just great for building the world. Now, here's something ironic, okay? So I went and see my parents today, and my mom, growing up, would always sing to wake my brother and I up, It's a Beautiful Morning from Oklahoma. But she would sing it horribly to annoy us. So for some reason today, she's decided to sing Oklahoma, but she was singing the song about Judd and Judd dying. And I'm like, it's like weirdly ironic, Mom, that you're singing this right now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm literally going to go watch this episode and talk to my friend later. So, but wow. Just kind of weird and creepy, but very, very interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. Everything else seems to be coming together, but I'm just like, what is Adrian Veidt doing?
Yeah, Veidt is.
I don't know. It almost seems like he's trying to create an environmental suit. Is he gonna like try to beam himself to Mars or something?
Yeah, it's gonna try to go to Mars, or is he stuck on Mars or something that we don't realize? You know, like, is he somewhere?
There you go.
That we don't know.
That would make more sense if he's trying to escape, because I was like, if he's trying to get to Mars, I'm like, what's he think he's gonna get from Dr. Manhattan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's very interesting.
Oh, but I mean, they could go so many ways with this. I'm just mean the whole, remember in the first episode when it's like raining squids and stuff, like, what if the whole Earth was like, after Adrian pulled his crap at the end of Watchmen, what if like the whole Earth is like somewhere else?
That would be awesome.
Or Earth and Mars, whatever.
There's so many different little things that it could be.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I'm excited.
Because, I mean, when they showed that quick flash on TV of Dr. Manhattan in like the first episode on Mars, what if he's like trying to work on a way to bring like Earth back without killing everybody? Maybe.
You know, it's just, I feel like there's a lot of ways that things could go. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I want some sort of clarity with Veidt, some sort of what exactly is going on here. Because I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of ways it could go, and they could keep this secondary narrative going. Mm-hmm. And I almost wish, so right now, if you think about it, we didn't get a part of our weekly episode. If you think about it, like with the show, like we've been watching pieces of Hooded Justice's story.
Oh yeah. Oh, although that was really only last episode, because I really, or did we kind of get that?
They were kind of building it up.
Yeah.
It's how I felt. Like, all right, you know, coming soon, Hooded Justice.
I mean, I guess it was. I mean, it was a lot of Laurie. So I mean, because we didn't get Angela's grandfather either. We didn't see where he went off. He got off to, you know, after.
Yeah, and I mean, it was fine. I just kind of thought like it was kind of neat having that kind of like bookended or whatever, kind of the way that the book plays out.
Oh yeah.
So, but I don't know. It's just interesting.
Yes. And then at the end, she almost gets killed by space junk.
Yeah, because it's a play off of her little story about, you know, where basically Ozymandias, Dr. Manhattan, and Night Owl go to heaven, and they're all sent to hell, and she's supposed to be the girl in her story, and the brick comes down and kills God, and basically it's kind of like the brick dropping down on her. She just laughs.
Oh, I love that scene of her sitting in front of that picture of the Watchmen. You know, like her head was like in front of her spot there. That was like a great shot.
You mean you're not a huge fan of the scene where she pulls out the Dr. Manhattan adult toy and assembles it, and then decides, nope, to go find her co-agent?
Oh, I might have missed that.
That's what that briefcase thing that she pulled out was. Well, at least that's what I took it as, because the way it was shaped and she was holding it. And then the next thing we know, like, it's her waking up in bed next to her co-agent.
Okay, Wait, was that Laurie? Was that okay? Yeah, okay. I didn't even get that as Laurie in bed with somebody. At first I thought it was Judd's wife or whatever, but maybe I just missed the whole. I was kind of in and out. So, on a totally unrelated topic, I guess Charlie must have been listening to the last Legends of the Arrowverse episode Lilith and I did, and we were talking about Tyler Hoechlin, Superman.
Yeah.
And we just kept calling him Tyler, and Charlie's like, every time you and Lilith keep mentioning, Tyler playing Superman, he's like, all I can picture is, our Tyler in that role.
Good.
I know. I was like, I'm sure he'd like that.
Yes, I would. Very much so.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Lord.
I wanted to join you and Lilith in that conversation, but it was hard because we had Wi-Fi in the hotel, but it wasn't very reliable.
Hey, this Wednesday.
That's all I had.
This Wednesday again, if you want. But yeah, that is just so weird. We're gonna have a Superman, played by a guy named Tyler. I'm like, what's next? Some guy playing Batman named Phil.
I mean, that would be awesome.
Might
be like
better, but
they'd be like, hey, Phil Perich, we want you to play Nightwing Beyond. We need you to be old man Dick in the chair. All right, I'll do it.
People, did he just call me an old? Never mind.
It's acting, Phil. You can put on makeup and look older. That's the beauty of it.
He called me an old Grayson.
Oh yeah. But all right. I mean, I'm intrigued by this series because I feel like every episode, there's things that we learned about that builds upon stuff that goes nowhere.
Yeah, I know.
But for example, the lady who was typewriting in the last episode of the German propaganda that flyers got dropped. We understand why the flyers got dropped. It's I don't know, they give us little bits more of characters and things.
I kind of like this episode because it's we still got Angela and everything, but we kind of got it from another perspective through Laurie.
Yeah, I liked it a lot because, like I said, it ties back to the original. It helped fill us in more about the world in which this Watchmen exists, and that the fact that this was a thing that they started in Tulsa that's catching on in other departments and cities and states want to do the same thing with their police force.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that Red Scare's costume is ridiculously stupid and cheap. It's just red warm-ups with a red ski mask.
I guess it just depends how much money you want to spend. I mean, not everyone puts the money and the thought into it like Sister Knight.
Sister Knight's just straight up sweet.
That's
It's
awesome,
a whole thing. She's rolling. Looking Glass is based, like I said before, he is the modern day Rorschach.
Oh, I love Laurie just looking at his mask like a mirror and checking.
She's like, your face is a mirror. People are going to use it.
She was so her father's daughter in this episode.
I feel like maybe that's what she's just kind of become. After learning it, if you think about the end of Watchmen, she learns that Eddie Blake is her father.
Oh yeah.
So then that would open up a whole new way of her looking at the comedian and wanting to go back. So it would be very interesting to see what she thought about her father after that.
Yeah. Speaking of Jeffrey Dean Morgan, are you still watching Walking Dead?
Man, I'm so far behind.
Oh my Lord, you got to catch up. Last night was a big Negan episode. Oh, you got to watch it. It's so good.
I really love Jeffrey Dean Morgan and everything I've seen him in. And the problem with The Walking Dead was I can only watch it when there's nobody around because Jania doesn't like it and everything. So it got harder for me because used to be there'd be times where I'd be by myself, I could watch it, but now if I'm by myself, the kids are around.
Yeah.
And Solomon's old enough to pay attention to things.
Yeah. See, Danielle wants to watch. That's our one of our shows. So yeah, usually that's why I'm not watching this live on Sunday nights. Usually after we put him to bed at 9, we'll watch that.
Yeah, I mean, this, she's interested enough that she'll watch it with me, but she's not we have to watch Watchmen together. So I started watching it last night, and Jania was just chilling with me. But yeah, Walking Dead's like I'm on my own, and I never have alone time. So last time I had the last series that I kind of watched by myself that she ended up watching part of it with me just because I was watching it, was I binged The Haunting of Hill House season 1, which was great. I've been waiting. I love every episode until the last one. I felt like it faltered at the end, but what are you gonna do? But Watchmen's one of those series, like when it's over, I would like to just rewatch it straight.
Yes,
because I feel like this is like some series, like I don't mind the wait for each week, but some shows like I would like to binge watch just because they're so tightly done that the gap of the week you miss details or forget things, and that's what I feel like with this show. Is there's things you might notice or things are going to come back up in a later episode, and we're like, oh, I totally forgot about that.
Oh, and the older Laurie, played by Jean Smart. I mean, very well done. Very, very good. Did you ever watch Legion? Probably not.
No.
She was good in that. Yeah, because, I mean, you really got to be a Marvel fan. I mean, that's like a spin-off of an X-Men spin-off. It's just... It's very trippy, but it is good. What was it, like 3 seasons?
It was one I thought about, but I was like, man, there's just too much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's done now, but it was like 3 or 4 seasons. Yeah, that was really good, though. She was in that.
She was also in, I'm trying to remember. Can't remember. I'll figure it out because I'm looking her up right now. She was killed by space junk. Dr. Manhattan's space junk.
Jesus. Oh my Lord! I was just waiting for that line. Some guys kind of, the suicide bomber is just like, just waiting for it to be like, you know what? I've stood up to Dr. Manhattan's space junk. Do you think a bomb's gonna scare me?
Yeah, I've looked down the barrel of that blue gun, and I'm still standing. She's one of those. I'm just looking at her IMDb. She's one of those actresses that I've seen her face, and like I've seen a lot of stuff she's in. Doesn't mean that she was the main character or popped out at me, but she's just in a lot of stuff that I've seen. But she was voiced Helen Ventrix in Batman the Animated Series. But I am intrigued by this show. I wasn't sure, I would say that this episode renewed my desire to watch this show more paying more attention to it.
Oh yeah.
So I was kind of like, man, I was like, okay, I'm digging this show, but I'm not really hooked yet. It's just kind of that was the show. I was trying to remember. My grandma used to watch Designing Women, and I knew Annie Potts was in it, but
Designing Women.
Yeah, I thought I could not remember the name of the show, but yeah, that's where I know her from.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't watch the show, but I kind of, sort of, I know she was on there, but
it was one of those shows like you go to grandma's house and my great grandma would have on.
Oh yeah.
They'd watch Designing Women, Walker Texas Ranger, Touched by an Angel, all those type of shows.
The CBS lineup, yeah.
So they were definitely. So I knew of its existence because I knew that's where I seen her from.
But I mean, she did a really good job. I mean, you could buy that this is Laurie 30 years later, and I think especially since we already covered the before Watchmen Silk Spectre series, I think it's good that they use Laurie to look at this whole situation through, because I think more so than I think any of them, she was probably the most normal person.
Yes,
even Night Owl or any of them, yeah.
I mean,
even though she was the daughter of a hero and everything, yeah, I think she, even though Night Owl and tried and stuff, I think she was the most normal. She strove for a normal life more than any of them.
Well, she didn't want it. Rorschach did it out of a sense of obligation. Night Owl wanted it out of a superhero kind of fantasy that he grew up with. It was forced upon her from her mom, but she was actually technically a legacy character. In the sense of that she came from two of the superheroes. Dan was kind of a legacy character.
Oh yeah,
taking on the mantle of Night Owl basically too, and she was Silk Spectre too.
Yeah, so I'm assuming Night Owl's in prison because, like I said, the senator said something about the president can pardon anyone. He can even get your owl out of the cage. Meanwhile, there was an actual owl in the cage, but
Yeah, it was definitely a nice little undertone because we don't know. There's nothing about Dan dropped.
yeah, I just wonder if if he got arrested for wearing the suit and stuff, and maybe that's part of the reason she's angry at Costume, because she's mad at him for getting arrested instead of being with her.
Well, we don't know what all was in Rorschach's journal.
Yeah,
we know that the last entry was him and Night Owl going to Veit's to stop him, and
say even the whole thing's in the journal. Are people going to believe him?
It's one of those conspiracy things where some people believe it, some don't, because of who Rorschach was. We know that Adrian came out, and everyone knew that Adrian Veidt was Ozymandias, but no one ever really knew who Night Owl was.
And again, are people going to believe a psychopath like Rorschach who was arrested and basically mental his whole life, or Adrian Veidt who ran was it? I don't know if it was the biggest company in the world or one of the biggest companies in the world.
Veidt International.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we also learned that Veidt sold his company or was bought out.
Yeah.
So that's intriguing.
And to keep the peace, I mean, no one. I mean, Rorschach died, but the rest of them were keeping Veight's secret.
And that's kind of why I think Laurie is the way that she is she's got mixed emotions and it's all wrapped up and she doesn't know how to deal with it.
Oh, but I like your theory that maybe it's Dr. Manhattan somehow imprisoning Veidt, because maybe he's like, oh yeah, you're not just going to get away with killing millions of people.
It would be interesting. I mean, it would be interesting if he's somewhere,
He's just like an environmental dome on Mars somewhere.
Exactly. It would kind of make sense. Because like I said, the way that the game warden is he had a mask on, but he was in the back. He could be a Phillips clone.
He could be anything. I mean, Dr. Manhattan can pretty much create,
And that explains why there's just repetitive Mr. Phillips and Crookshanks.
Oh yeah, because at first I was thinking, maybe Veidt was creating these clones. Maybe it's Dr. Manhattan creating the clones.
Right, because there's nothing that shows us he has any kind of laboratory equipment.
Because I don't know about out of curiosity or just to keep the punishment going. He wants to keep Veidt alive,
or he keeps him in a loop. That's why every day they have he's a jolly good fellow,
yes.
Like he's reliving the same stuff over and over, and
Groundhog Day.
So, I don't know. It's a prison of his own making,
Mm-hmm. Oh, smartest man in the world, and he's like, yeah, I'll give you the memory. You'll relive the same day over and over, but no matter how much you do, no matter what you try to change, you're never going to escape.
Because they said Veidt disappeared so many years ago. What if Dr. Manhattan just took him after something? I don't know. Just something to think about. Something to roll around in your head.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Watch the next episode to completely obliterate that. But whatever.
That's
it's all
right.
fun.
I like it. I like that idea better anyway.
I think it would be more spectacle than just he's on a remote place. Because it just feels awkward wherever he is.
Because seriously, who else is going to imprison the smartest man in the world?
Yeah, the thing is, why would you believe? I don't know. Veidt has the charm and the charisma to protect himself. So,
or he can outsmart anybody. But I mean, Dr. Manhattan can see past, present, future.
Exactly. But that's what I'm going with. Any other thoughts, Phil, from this episode?
No, you've given me much to think about.
I'm kind of in that mood. I dropped a big Terminator conspiracy theory on my friend, and he's blown away as he rewatches all the movies. I'm yeah. So I'm kind of in that deep thought right now.
Dropping all these theories on me. I feel like I'm in a room with another Charlie Esser.
Ooh, Charlie.
You're like the Charlie Esser on the DC side.
No, you're still the comic book, god, Phil. We can't take that from you. If I'm man, what did this ever happen in the comics? I'm I don't know. Let's ask Phil.
Oh my lord, I can't believe. Yeah, it's funny because I know the one night Charlie and his youngest were having a conversation. His son asked him something about Reverse Flash, and he's like, that's a question for Phil. Let's ask Phil.
Exactly. You get referenced on our podcast often. Man, Phil would know.
I know. You and Mr. James Cole. Yes, I hear
Exactly.
my references. Yes, I want to do like a big Christmas episode of Capes. We're gonna I want to get everyone in, all of us. Get Moz in, get Mr. James Cole in, everyone.
That's called epic. It would just be like an hour of us just kind of staring at each other, like with numbers, waiting to talk. Like
the internet cannot contain us. Oh my lord! But now the way Rob wants us to record, can you imagine trying to stitch that together? I'll do it, but
I mean, I would try it. You make like you do now, like recording this. But anyways, we digress. But who podcasts The Watchmen? We do, Phil.
We do.
And
we do.
We need to. It's like we need to review the book.
Oh yeah,
that's an undertaking right there.
Well,
after going issue by issue.
Well, after season 1 wraps up, I think we're gonna have to we'll get more. We'll do the rest of the before Watchmen stuff, and then we'll get into the actual book, and we'll just do an episode on the movie too.
Yeah,
see who we can get. Maybe get some people to talk the movie with us. Maybe Lilith. Maybe Mr. James Cole. Yeah.
James is in. I love the movie. I mean, even some of the changes about like the attack, I think works better with it being Dr. Manhattan.
Oh yeah, that gives him an excuse to leave too.
Exactly, because then if he ever returns, he breaks the peace.
Yes.
So it's and
so you Vite really neutralizes Dr. Manhattan because he's like, hey, you come back, they're gonna go to war again.
Exactly. So, and it just makes it's a little bit more believable than a giant squid alien thing.
I don't know. It seems to be the way they're going in the show.
Yeah, because they're following the book, but that's cool.
All right. So before we get out of here, remember, go pick up myself and several other podcasters have contributed to the Pod Life book. So go pick that up. Go to orderpodlife.smgpods.com. Go order Hunt a Killer at huntakiller.com. Support Southgate Media Group on Patreon. And you heard the tweaked audio ad at the beginning of this episode. All right. Send us your thoughts. Mr. Tyler Patrick has dropped a lot of conspiracy theories on you this episode. Send us your thoughts. Is he right? Is he wrong? Look at that face. He's right. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, check out everything Capes and Lunatics, social media links, the YouTube, places you can download the podcast. You can find it all at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. All right, Mr. Tyler Patrick, where can people find you and the Krypton Report?
Find me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We try to do some YouTube things. Krypton Report, we talk all things Superman. Just had a new episode drop this morning. And it's a lot of fun. It's exciting. We talk a lot of DC stuff, period. So there's a lot to talk about. A lot of shows.
I'm big all over.
He is big. He's the man. All right. So I think that's it, right?
Yep.
All right. Space jump. Ask your wife, let's play astronaut. Righty. Trying to remember. Is this 10 episodes or is it going further?
9.
Okay. So I think it's going to go. I think it's going to middle of December. I don't think we'll take a break. That's right. They don't take a break. Neither do we. Don't have to drop the car on us.